This is Mayor Joe Ceballos. He is a staunch supporter of Donald Trump, lending his voice and vote to the Make America Great Again movement. Here's Ceballos speaking with the media outside a detention facility in Wichita, Kansas. He previously served as mayor of a conservative town in the state. And here is Ceballos after turning himself into the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office. Protesters gathered outside and held signs in support. But wait a minute.
Mass deportations now. Mass deportations now. That is the kind of policy that is alarming, even cruel, even un-American to folks on the left. And that is the intended effect. Someone I spoke to just a moment ago said it's going to make heads explode. And you may wonder, is that where the Republican Party is today? I did a little digging. I can tell you from my reporting during the primary season talking to voters, the answer is absolutely yes. And the answer from pollsters is absolutely yes. 3 out of 4 Republicans want immigration to decline in America, and they believe that immigration brings in drugs, brings in crime, and makes the economy worse, even, quote, reduces social and moral values. On top of that, a full 80% of Republicans, according to CBS News' own polling, agree with Donald Trump when he says that illegal immigration is poisoning the blood of the country.
I thought this is exactly what y'all wanted.
And hear the man behind me talk about deporting more people than President Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1954, an operation with a name so racist that it's not appropriate to say on television. He's talking about removing more than 10 million people from this country who have been here, many of them since they were little children, contribute to this society, contribute to this economy, live in all of our neighborhoods and communities. And now we're throwing balloons around as if this is a party. He talked about the Democrats, again, cheating. Cheat was the word he used in the last election after saying he was here to unify the nation. And it's a bizarre feeling that I'm not sure I'm able to fully articulate right now.
This is what you voted for. Quite literally, this is how you used your vote. This is what you saw at the RNC. This is all that they talked about on the campaign trail. This is what you wanted, and you are getting what you voted for. And I hate to say it, because I have a shred of empathy here, even for Ceballos. You voted for it.
No president has ever used the Border Patrol this way, but the agency is modeling the kind of aggressive tactics Trump wants, raising the likelihood that the next phase of this crackdown will be more confrontational and violent.
So who exactly is Ceballos? Let me tell you.
Thank you.
What's going through your mind right now as you walk into this building?
Obviously nervous. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where they're going to take me, and what I can and can't do inside there.
Did you try to take advantage of your last night that you know that you're for the foreseeable future free and able to make your own choices? Did you do anything special at that time?
I had a bunch of friends come over and visit with me. Just asking if there's anything they can do or, support it.
How has Coldwater in general responded since the news came down?
Obviously, they're upset. They can't believe that this is happening. Basically, starting over, because now we're doing this federal. And they can't believe it. So, obviously upset.
The Wichita Eagle would report Ceballos came to the United States of America from Mexico as a toddler, and in 2025, while renewing his green card, Ceballos admitted to having voted in the U.S. elections, doing so only because he thought his immigration status would allow him to vote. The Kansas Reflector would write of the likely grim outcome. Although he reached a plea deal on misdemeanor charges and he hoped to remain in the country where he made this his home for some 50 years? Ceballos instead was caught up in the mass deportation that has torn apart American communities from one coast to another. He will likely be sent back to Mexico, where he remains a citizen, but, and this is depressing, he does not have any connections. In a statement to CNN, the Department of Homeland Security said Ceballos, who was granted a green card in 1990, falsely claimed he was a U.S. citizen on voter registration forms and again committed a felony by lying on his naturalization application that he had never claimed to be a U.S. citizen. The very next paragraph from the Associated Press is very important. Trump and other Republicans have been warning of the dangers of non-citizens voting in elections since the beginning of the 2024 presidential election. Research, even by Republican officials, would show the problem is rare. And yet here we are with MAGA following this dude's words.
This is the next great threat to our sovereignty, buried within this border nightmare we've been living through for 2 years. And everyone in this room, of course, is familiar, as Eric said, with the fact that, we're probably now well over 20 million illegal aliens in this country. And who really even knows how many have come in the last 2 years? I could cite you the numbers about border statistics, but how many millions more have gone in completely unknown, undetected? And so now you see leftists moving to let illegal aliens vote. So in Washington, D.C., as I think you all know, they passed a law saying illegal aliens can vote in our nation's capital city. So they can pass laws using illegal aliens that will determine the crime, the public safety, the education policy in our nation's capital.
You know, to me, I see the modern day reincarnation of Joseph Goebbels. To Katie Miller, his wife, she sees something vastly different.
You are married to Stephen Miller,
I am.
so you are the envy of all women. What is that like?
The sexual matador, right?
What is it like being married to such a sexual matador?
He is an incredibly inspiring man who gets me going in the morning with his speeches being like, let's start the day. I am going to defeat the left and we are going to win. He wakes up the day ready to carry out the mission that President Trump was elected to do.
Nonetheless, on election day last fall, Mr. Ceballos' neighbors reelected him in a landslide that same week. The Kansas Attorney General's office charged him with several election-related felonies that carried the potential of years in prison. Here is where I stand on all of this, okay? He didn't know that he couldn't vote, and yet he voted. And he voted for the man that would lock him up and deport him to a country that he hasn't been to his entire adult life and his childhood. I know there's an irony here, and many folks, I'm sure in the comments, will just say like he got what he asked for, and I do agree. I agree. The only thing I can really hope for, because there are so many people that have been affected, the only thing that I can hope for is that there is some sort of systemic change. And they see like, oh, this guy's one of us, but they won't. That's the problem, is like you think like, where is the wake-up call? Where is the red line? Guys, there is no red line. There is none. Look at who's calling the plays. Sebastian Gorka, a Nazi in my eyes. Stephen Miller. Come on. There is no moment in time where they are going to say, oh, crap, we deported one of ours. This man is a Mexican dude who is a Republican from a small town in Kansas. You think they give a flying 4-letter word about small town America? They care about it once every 4 years. That's it. This can be damn near global headlines. All Stephen Miller sees is a brown man who doesn't belong here, and he has Trump's ear. There is no limit. None. And that is why they are trying their best to gerrymander the heck out of more states so they can retain power in the midterms, because if they didn't, they would get wiped politically. Wiped. This is what they're doing. They want to gerrymander the heck out of the country and limit the courts. And for this dude, all I'm saying is, I'm sorry. I really am. But if you thought about the way that you were voting and you just wanted to try and understand your status, you would know that this was not the way. This was not a person to vote for, and yet you did it anyway. So I'm sorry. I am. And I'm sorry to every other person that should not have been sent to a foreign gulag, or been tortured by our government, or gone to alligator Alcatraz, or slept on the floor, or been separated from their parents, or been shipped to a country that they've never been to or they haven't been to since they were a kid. Ceballos is not the only one. It's a national story, but there are many more. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.